Hey folks, Paulie here. Today's video is about dramedy cues for television. So what is dramedy? Dramedy is the fusion of drama and comedy, hence the term dramedy. A very popular genre. If you watch any reality TV, you've certainly seen it. So let me just play through a little bit of this, and then we'll talk about the form, the instrumentation, etc. That's it. Very, very basic genre. So let's break it down a bit. First, let's look at the form. I've got some arrangement markers at the top of the screen here. I've got a basic verse. I've got a breakdown section you'll hear in a moment. I've got verse 2 with a slight change to it, and then reprise back to the original verse. I'll go through the whole thing so you hear it, and I'll kind of comment along the way. But you'll notice that this only has 8 instruments, 8 tracks in it. Very, very simple, very, very basic. A lot of writers will try to do too many things, add too much stuff, and it just gets in the way. Remember, with television cues, you're generally trying to create a mood, and you're usually hiding under dialogue. So keep it simple. You're not trying to become Composer of the Year, win a Grammy with an instrumental cue for TV. So very, very basic, and dramedy is pretty specific. So starting at the beginning, the first track is a pizzicato string. That's a classical term for plucking the strings, a very short sound. So let's just give it a listen here. This is a little minor triad, goes down a half step and back up. Now I add some pizzicato basses, along with the kick drum and the hi-hats, because this is the trap dramedy or hip-hop dramedy track. Only change here is I've added the snare drum now on top of it. Now I've got a breakdown section, just the 808 bass, but you'll hear in a minute this is the same piece, just a different part by itself. Bass keeps going, added the pizzy strings back, the hats and the snare, I got some noise lifters for releasing tension. Now it's the same thing, just up 3 steps, or 3 half steps, 3 steps if you're looking at your piano roll scroller, up a minor third. It was just basses, then I added the strings, so a slight variation. I'm adding and removing things every 2 bars, or every 4 bars, sorry. Here comes the snare. It's real simple, 2 string parts, bass plus drums. Now we're back down 3 steps to the original key. Just the pizzy strings. Now add the bass and the hats. Nice little button ending, no fade, no long sustains, just boom down off on the one, and that's it. So some folks might be thinking, man, that's really silly. That's so simple. Who would use that? Well, I wrote this piece 3 years ago, and it's been used on TV ever since. It shows up regularly on my royalty statements every quarter. So you don't need to be John Williams or Trent Reznor to get music on TV. This is really simple stuff. Your goal as a TV music producer is to set moods. You're not trying to create art. You're trying to set moods that music supervisors and music editors would want to put under their dialogue and their scenes. So that's it. It's really straightforward. Simple section. Add a breakdown after the first verse. The second verse happened, up a minor third. Then back to the original key. Now, some folks may debate, should you change keys in a cue? I did in this one, but the musical material was exactly the same. I literally dragged it all up 3 dots in scroll view. So it just adds some tension. I've heard things like this on TV, and again, this has been used for the past 3 years on TV. There is something wrong with this cue, though, and like I said, I wrote this a while back, so I wasn't thinking clearly at the time, but I am missing edit points. Music editors love edit points. What is an edit point? It's a space where they can stop and stop the music or enter the music at a certain place without having to cut it and fade it and things like that. Less work for them. I'm going to cover edit points with the same track in my next video, but hopefully you can see this was very simple, easy to do, 8 tracks, a couple instruments, the proper beat. I'm adding and removing things throughout the piece in 4-bar chunks. At the beginning, just strings. Then add the bass. I added drums as well. Add another drum, and then break it down. Add some more pieces. I changed the key, but again, pulling things out, adding more stuff. There's always something different. You can see the shape of the screen. There's gaps and things come back. And that's really all you're doing, taking a small number of ingredients, mixing them around, adding and removing as needed to give the feeling of change without adding too much complexity.